let's move on to the exercise for part 2. CD down here into part 2. Open that up. Open up my README. Okay, I'm going to open source article.elm and resolve the to-dos there. Okay, so essentially we have a couple of to-dos here, and they have to do with this extensible data idea. So we have article full and article preview, and in this example, we don't quite have the complete implementation of these. We have the types mapped out, where we have the article itself, which is defined as type article A, which we called in the other example extra info. We can call it that as well, totally fine. Then we have this internals type, and internals is essentially a type alias for that particular chunk of data inside that record. The reason I like to do a type alias called internals for this, rather than inlining the record directly inside the custom type definition, the way I did on the slide, is that this way I get to use this the automatic record constructor that comes from the type alias when I'm decoding this thing. So we'll get into that in part 7, but suffice it to say that that's a common pattern that I use, and that is the answer to a question that somebody asked in the last exercise about when to use that or when not. If you're using it with a decoder, it's a pretty nice thing. So that's the structure of this article. Now, as we previously discussed, extra info can either hold onto the value preview or the value full, and if it's holding onto a full, then we have the body inside of that. Now, that's what we've got, but our implementation is not complete yet because we don't have a couple of these functions filled in yet. So we have this function called body, which says I take an article full and return a body. That's a publicly exposed function. That's part of the public API, but it currently doesn't do anything. It just always returns an empty string. So that's no good, especially because string is not actually a body. So that's not going to compile. And in fact, if we try to compile this, what we get is a pile of type errors. So we're going to have to fix these one at a time. So that's the first to do, is make it actually return the article's body. Second one is this one converts from a preview to an article full. So this comes up in I forget which part of the code base, but basically we need to sort of upgrade it. And it says, okay, well, if you got a preview and you can provide a body for me, well, then putting those two together, I can give you an article full. So this is sort of the function that does that conversion for the caller. And finally, we have, where's the other to-do? Use body.decoder, which is of type decoder body, to decode the body into this article full. So this is something where we have two different decoders. We have a preview decoder, which decodes a preview article, and then we have a full decoder, which decodes a full article. So we're going to implement the latter of those. You can see in the preview decoder, first we do the internals decoder and resolve all of that. And then we separately always hard code this to say, okay, we're always just going to stick a preview in there and then move on. But in this one, we're not going to do that. We're going to actually decode the body and then put that into the resulting data structure.